The Whispering Cloud, A Journey to Clarity. Kaelen often felt as though a heavy, whispering cloud followed them everywhere they went. It wasn't a rain cloud, but a cloud of thoughts, swirling, insistent, and endlessly debating every decision, big or small. Even the simplest choice, like what to have for breakfast, could become a monumental task, lost in the endless echoes of what if and should I have. In the beginning, Kaelen tried to push the cloud away, to shout over its whispers. They would clench their fists and try to force the thoughts to disappear, but the more they resisted, the denser and louder the cloud became. It was like trying to stop a waterfall with their bare hands. The effort only made them feel more exhausted and overwhelmed. One quiet afternoon, Kaelen sat beneath a sturdy oak tree, listening to the rustle of leaves. They noticed the cloud was still there, but for the first time, they simply watched it. They didn't try to fight it, didn't try to understand every whisper, they just let it be. And in that moment of quiet acceptance, the cloud, though still present, seemed to soften, its edges less sharp. Kaelen began to understand that they weren't their thoughts. They were the one watching the thoughts. Like an observer on a hill watching clouds drift across the sky, Kaelen learned to step back from the swirling storm within. Each thought was just a cloud, passing by, not demanding to be caught or held. With this newfound perspective, Kaelen started to notice patterns. Some clouds were familiar, returning again and again. Others were fleeting, disappearing as quickly as they arrived. What triggered the dense, dark clouds? What themes repeated in the whispers? This awareness, this simple act of identification, brought a surprising sense of gentle control. To help themselves step out of the cloud, Kaelen learned to ground themselves in the present. They would feel the cool earth beneath their feet, listen to the distant song of a bird, or breathe in the sweet scent of a blooming flower. These simple acts brought them back to the here and now, pulling them gently away from the endless mental chatter. Kaelen also practiced thought diffusion. Instead of wrestling with each thought, they imagined each one as a leaf floating down a gentle stream. They watched the leaves, acknowledged their presence, but allowed them to drift by without clinging to them. Some leaves were brightly colored, others dull, but all were allowed to pass. Sometimes, the best way to quiet the mind was to simply do something. Kaelen learned that taking even a small, decisive step, like starting a task they'd been overthinking, could break the cycle of analysis paralysis. Action, even imperfect action, was a powerful antidote to the endless what-ifs. Kaelen understood that the whispering cloud might never fully disappear. It was a part of their mind's landscape, but its power had diminished. It was no longer a roaring storm, but a gentle hum, a distant murmur that they could choose to acknowledge or simply let fade into the background. The lantern they once held unlit now cast a soft, steady glow. Now, Kaelen carries the wisdom of their journey. They know how to navigate the intricate landscape of their own mind. When the clouds gather, they have the tools to find their way back to clarity, to ground themselves, and to let the whispers pass. The journey is continuous, but Kaelen is no longer lost in the storm. They are the calm observer, guiding their own way.